for stopping by to How Do We Human, and hey, on your way out, why don't you get yourself a little souvenir? This is the podcast where we talk about all the weird and uncomfortable micro moments in life. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Binning.
Yeah, I'm Evan Cox. Maybe stop by the gift shop or something. Get yourself a souvenir.
Yeah, and we run a mafia that's fronted as a gift shop.
Yeah. Maybe just a mafia with a gift shop.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Exit through the gift shop or sleep with the fishes.
Boom.
That's what we say at the end of our tours.
But
what we say at the
postcard
beginning...
you can't refuse.
What we say at the beginning, Evan, is, Evan, how you doing?
Whoa! Doing great.
We are out of practice.
We are out of practice. You guys probably didn't know it. We haven't recorded the last 2 weeks. We pre-recorded a bunch of shit because I was going on a trip and I was going to be gone. And I think this is maybe the first time we've ever successfully done it where I didn't have to even record in Washington. I didn't even bring my stuff.
It might be the first time. Maybe we've done it one other time, but it's been probably pre-COVID. It would be the last time that we pulled that off when we didn't even remotely think about recording remotely.
Ooh, double remotely.
Double remote, universal remote.
Now that's a double remote. I'm doing fine. All that to say, we're out of practice. Give us some grace.
We are struggling to find a rhythm.
Here's what I want to talk about. It was a part of my trip, and this turned into a big, stupid conversation. So, when you're road tripping, and we were driving, my girlfriend and I driving to Washington and back. Not just to do that, but stayed in Washington for a week and a half or so, then drove back. Not all in one. That would be silly.
That would be silly.
When you're doing that, the number one and number two things you got to be thinking about. Where you stopping to go to the bathroom? Where you stopping to eat?
That's number one and two.
Number one and two. Number three, where you're stopping to eat. And, sometimes it's kismet. And it all just kind of comes together.
I love it when a plan comes together.
We didn't think this was the case. We were like, we're just hungry. Or rather, I thought that. She didn't have to do anything. I just ended up having to use the restroom. We stopped at a Burgerville. I mentioned to you before the record. That's our kind of Oregon favorite. Good burgers, good shakes, good fish and chips, whatever you desire. You can get it at Burgerville.
Whatever I desire.
Whatever you desire. Well, kind of. You'll see. So we go through the drive-thru because we're making great time. We go through the drive-thru, park, eat real quick, hit the road again. But we park, I eat, I'm like, I gotta pee. It's not going to be worth it to start driving again just to find a rest stop, pull over again, and then use the restroom. We're at a Burgerville. I'm going to pee. Now, we did not go into the Burgerville. We went through the drive-thru. I get some weird anxiety about this because the people in there don't know.
They don't know I'm a paying customer. Yeah.
They don't know I'm a paying customer.
They think I'm some scam artist trying to hit the bathroom.
Exactly. And I realize how irrational it sounds. But
hey, buddy, I have the same problem.
I hope it's relatable because it didn't seem relatable to anyone else at the time. So I'm thinking, hopefully I can go in this door. Because sometimes this happens on the more like on the road sort of stops where there's truck stops and stuff like that. There's a restaurant. It'll be like you just walk in, the restroom's right there. You're not even having to go into the restaurant. This was not the case. I opened the door. It was an empty Burgerville, save for one person standing behind the counter, staring at me and smiling. So I'm like, well, fuck. I'm not going to be
Welcome
able to just walk into
Burgerville,
the
where
restroom.
you can get anything your heart desires.
Anything your heart desires. So we lock eyes, and she's like, welcome to Burgerville. Home of the Burgerville. Can I take your order? She says, welcome to Burgerville. What can I get for you? And so I'm just like, I already got food through the drive-thru. I just needed to use your restroom real quick. And she's like, okay. It's open. Go ahead. It's like, I hate you. Do you not see that I had to have this interaction with you? There was no other way out of it. If she said, hello, welcome to Burgerville, and I just walked past, I would never forgive myself.
Sure.
I could have ordered more food, but I felt like that was a pretty normal thing to say at the moment, and my girlfriend does not think it was normal at all, and doesn't understand the trauma I went through in that Burgerville.
I'm in the middle here on this one.
Okay.
Because I do... I have the same stress going into the Burgerville that you do.
Yes.
But when I get there and I lock eyes with the person, like, hey, welcome to Burgerville, home of the Burgerville, what can I get for you? I think I just ask, like, hey, can I use your restroom, or where is your restroom? One of those. Mm-hmm. I think that because you come in with like an alibi, I think that's why you're met with the frustration. And I don't mean to, play whatever the phrase is. I can't pull it, but the
devil's advocate?
No, quarterbacking a play that has already happened.
Backseat driver?
I guess. Or it's like, is it Monday morning quarterbacking or something like that?
Yeah. That is a thing. I don't.
But yeah, backseat driving, like hindsight. I'm coming at it from a different perspective now, so I don't mean to do that and
puppeteer me through to the bathroom.
Yeah, and in my story, in a little bit, you'll have the opportunity to turn the tables back on me, I'm sure. But
good.
but I think that's. I think going into the Burgerville, I'm with you. That has to happen. It has to. There's
an interaction.
Interaction that's going to probably have to happen, and I agree that like I'm stressed about it. Yeah. I think it's the alibi that that took her by surprise. Not so much what you needed, but how you described needing it.
I am Secret Service for the president. A motorcade just went through, and I'm going to fall too far behind. Can I use your restroom, please? I think you saying that, I think I've gotten to the bottom of this, because so much of everything we talk about goes back to our more customer service facing days. Yeah. And you used to work at an IKEA. Those are open restrooms. Anybody can fucking walk in there. Walgreens bathrooms have a code. So people ask to use it, and sometimes you got to say no, and that sucks. And I think I'm programmed for like, sorry, bathrooms are for customers only.
Sure.
So if I go in and just say, can I use the restroom? She's going to be like, sorry, it's for customers only. And then I'm going to have to say the drive-through thing anyways, and then feel like I'm lying or I have to prove it. Like, I got burger stains on my shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I think, all right, here's what I would have done in this situation.
Oh, boy, let's see what Chris would have done.
I would have brought the receipt, assuming you got one from the drive-thru, brought it into the Burgerville and had it in my back pocket, so that if I were hit with the customers only, then I whip out that receipt. Whoosh, gotcha, bitch.
Throw it in her face.
Let me pee.
Walk to the bathroom.
So yeah, I think that's a part of it. How often, by the way, did the restroom codes at Walgreens change? Could I buy one thing and then have access to that restroom forever?
Yes.
Great.
Not forever. The only,
Okay.
maybe I'm giving away company secrets or just that location's secret, which, granted, the manager there doesn't work there anymore. So policy probably changed. At the time, the policy was all the codes remain the same until someone is now I can't
commits
think
a
of
crime in there.
Someone is fired and or quits in a not so friendly manner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then all the codes change. And it's always a pain in the ass. They're like, why'd you hire that fucking psychopath in the first place?
Yes.
Anyways, Chris.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Look, we mentioned that look. Okay, enough about how I'm doing. Look. It is business time. Okay. We mentioned that we haven't recorded in several weeks, which means that some of these how you doing style stories have stacked up.
Oh yeah.
And Evan, all three of the ones that I have, I'm not going to share all three of them in this episode, but just so you have the preparation, these are all going to be work-related stories, which means it's going to be time for your favorite game of Guess What My Job Is. Now, this was a situation. I was at work. There is a high security area in my building. Okay. I have access, but a regular customer does not. This is a highly secure area in that there are sensors and alarms if somebody not authorized or who hasn't swiped through tries to go through, and there are plenty of signs posted: do not enter, stop, restricted access, authorized personnel only. If you trespass in this area, it could be a fine or an arrest. This does not stop people from trying to access it. And
I believe that.
Perhaps not out of ill intent, but just I see an employee coming in or out of these doors. So if I want to get an employee, I must go through these doors. Okay. I see somebody, I'm exiting the secure area. Somebody else, a customer, is trying to get in. And I stop him and say, can't come in here. And it bugs me because
it's a top secret science lab where we're testing makeup on monkeys.
That's right.
I know.
And I stop him and I say, you can't come in here. And then I get a little sassy with it because it's so obvious to me. So I say, you can't come in here. That's why there are signs right here, right here, right here, and right here. And he says, but I have a question. Hey, man.
Okay, Mr. Riddler.
That doesn't matter. But I'm like, we got to turn around and we got to keep walking this way. And then he asks me his dumb question. And it's essentially, without giving it away, he's asking for something that is directly next to these doors that you can see very clearly.
So close.
And wants to know, is that the only place that these are? Yeah, dude.
Does it matter?
That's it. He's like, okay. And then somebody uninvolved.
Uh-oh.
I'm trying to get him to move. So we're like, you got to keep moving this way. Somebody uninvolved gets in here. And it's like, he's just trying to ask a question. You don't have to be rude about it. Exactly, Evan. fuck right off.
Terrible.
I was so mad about this for like
Do you always
the
go
next 2 days
trespass
straight. Yeah,
in spots where to ask questions?
you know what? And the next time, I'm just gonna have to let him roam free in the trespassing area because I don't want to come off as a little mean.
Oh yeah, don't be mean.
Let him get arrested. Let him get fined because I didn't want to seem a little too mean.
Yeah, that's fair.
Thank you.
And to Monday morning quarterback. That is the phrase.
Great.
I would have done the exact same thing.
Good.
This person sounds like a dumb shit.
Yes.
Yeah, because a lot of the games are on Sunday, so Monday morning you're like, I would have done this. We got this. We
got there.
Except there is also Monday Night Football, which, if you're playing in that game, you are Monday night quarterback. I don't know if that's the same thing.
Tuesday morning quarterback.
I
don't know how often it came up in our customer service episodes, but I do. The people who think that they're like white knight good citizens,
yes,
standing up for dumb shits causing problems, fuck right off.
You're the worst.
Yeah.
Stand up for me.
Stand up for me. And give me a little souvenir. We're talking about souvenirs,
yes.
as evidenced by the title of this episode.
Yeah. We got them. We look at them. I have some right here to share, which sounds less exciting than it's going to be. I brought some souvenirs that I've gathered over the years, and I'm going to share them with you. There's reasons for it. Don't turn off that dial. Don't turn that dial.
Yep.
What if people like this? People like this. Don't worry. This is a good idea.
What if people like this?
What if people like this? People want to touch buttons again. Get it? People talk about, hey, touch grass, touch buttons. And you could have like an iPod to play your podcasts, but it has an actual giant dial on it. And when you flip the dial, it's like a radio dial. It flips you to a different podcast. And you can scan around until you find something interesting. Except HowDoWeHuman's on 80% of the channels. Just a different episode, so they don't catch up.
Always interesting. I mean, I do... Look, I love to touch buttons. I had a BlackBerry at one point. I loved touching all those keyboard buttons. On the iPad, when you swirled around that little circle, and it did whatever that part did. I don't know if that was volume or searching through songs. I don't remember, but I loved swiping around on there.
It's a good feel.
But yeah, I do agree. Instead of touch grass, touch buttons.
And this guy over here is trying to get further away from people saying he looked like Jay Baruchel, and he's admitting he had a BlackBerry.
Yeah.
You are Jay Baruchel.
I did. To be clear, when I first received that Jay Baruchel comparison, I was trying to get away from it, but since then, in the last, because I would have been told that nearly a decade ago, and so I would say over the last 9 years or so, I'm all right with it.
All right.
Actually, no, it would have been more than 10 years ago because I remember who told me that, and that would have been in 2011, 2012 that I would have known this person. And in over a decade, I'm a Jay Baruchel fan, baby.
Oh, hell yeah.
I just didn't want to be... It was the specific comparison of him starring in a movie where the premise is like he's too ugly to fall in love. That was more the pushback I had on that comparison.
He's too ugly to fall in love. I was looking around to see if there's ever been a picture of Paul Giamatti and Jerry Berger. And no, but they were in a movie together, and it was bad.
Ooh, what movie do I think Paul
it?
Giamatti and Jay Baruchel are in?
It's the only. I mean, I don't know if this helps at all. It's based on a book. I read the book. Loved the book.
Sorcerer's Apprentice?
Director. Love the director of this movie. I found the movie to be nearly unwatchable. In fact, I didn't finish it. No, not The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Well, I
neither is The Star.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna have to take the L on this one, unless you've got another.
You want to phone a friend?
Sure. Can I phone you, who's looking at the answer?
Yeah.
Great. Evan, what do you think it is?
How much time left on the clock?
For about 10 seconds.
Okay, what was the question again?
What movie starred Jay Baruchel and Paul Giamatti?
The movie was Cosmopolis.
Oh, I've never seen that movie.
It's not very good. Good book, though. David Cronenberg. Like almost everything else he's ever made. That movie sucked. But if I had a souvenir of it, it's mine.
You know, you mentioned that you've been out on a trip this whole gosh darn time, Evan.
Yeah.
Did you get any little treats? Do you feel like when you go on a trip, you have to get a little treat yourself, memorabilia, trinket, shirt, what have you?
I think getting souvenirs is along the lines of travel itself in certain ways, whereas I'm not one to necessarily do it myself. I tried really hard once to go to New Zealand, and then a global pandemic happened. And just saw that guy because he moved back to Washington. Just saw him for the first time since then. So I'm afraid of travel, I guess. But being with my girlfriend, she loves traveling and particularly loves national parks. And so we popped by these national parks. I got her one of those water bottle with all the national parks on it, and you got the stickers. Pop a sticker on to everyone you've been to.
I got that for my mother-in-law last year.
It's a good gift.
It is.
If anyone's out there needing to buy someone a gift, just get them that. It doesn't matter if they like. It'll get them to one national park, and then they'll just have one dumb sticker on their water bottle, and they'll feel like a fucking idiot. And they'll take you on a trip, maybe. Collectively that she's got me into the national park passport where you go and put stamps on them. This is fun. I like stuff like this, and we've talked a lot before about how we're both kind of natural collector types. And so there's something there that's like, should I start up a cool little collection of stuff, souvenirs I get from gift shops at national parks? It's so in my blood. But I found myself in the position to get started, and I stumbled. And I'm not sure yet if I made the right decision. Last year when we were in Washington, we popped by Mount Rainier, which I'd been to before because I lived relatively near it. Not near enough. It is an active volcano, so not near enough to die. But near enough to visit. So we went there, popped by the gift shop. I saw this fucking mug. You might have seen me drinking out of it when you were here visiting. This fucking mug rules. It's heavy. The design is cool as hell. The color's right up my alley. It's got some cold tea stains in it right now. I love this thing. And on this trip, we went to the Redwoods, which I had never been to before. And I was looking at the mugs. None of them spoke to me in the way this mug spoke to me and said, put tea in me. But some of them were pretty nice. And I'm like, I'm never one to be like, I'm going to spend $100 in the gift shop.
Right.
That ain't me. So I could get a Redwoods mug, $20. Not something I would use all the time, probably. Or I needed a new jacket. And they had this jacket, reversible, fit me, green, love that. Little patch on it says Redwoods, makes me look like a park ranger. That was $30. And it was to the point where it was like we were going camping at the end of this trip, and I didn't have a warm enough jacket. Like, this would be a warm enough jacket. I gotta get this jacket, but I could not bring myself to get a jacket and a mug. That felt crazy. So I just... I made that call. I'm just like, I'm not going to do the mug collection thing. That takes up so much space. Maybe I'll just commit to getting something at every national park gift shop. But long story short, I'm a little let down with myself. I don't know. What do you think about that idea, collecting things from souvenir shops? And do you do it?
I don't do it. However, I think we talked about this in one of the collecting conversations we've had over the years on this podcast, because I definitely would be prone to needing to, add to the collection. Mm-hmm. Even the movie collection that I have back here is right. I always have to be adding to it.
Always.
But it does take up space. In fact, I've run out of space. There's a lot of them just
bad feeling.
Sitting on the very bottom shelf, all stacked in weird configurations to just try and get them in their place. Yeah. And so I the idea that I had very recently, because I did go on a short little trip, as we were talking before we started recording, to Cambria, kind of the central-ish coast of California.
And the definition of a place, because I've been there, I never, ever would have been there if it weren't for Jocelyn getting me out of the house. And she's like, no, Cambria is really cool. We stayed in San Simeon, but it's like, yeah, that's just not a thing I do. And that's why I've honestly not seen a lot of Washington if I didn't have a business purpose for being there.
Yeah, I am very similar in that way. But we went to both Hearst Castle and Piedras Blancas Lighthouse, and both of those have gift shops. And to varying sizes. The lighthouse one is pretty small, and the Hearst Castle one is this gigantic gift shop. But
makes sense.
I don't have any interest really in getting clothing that has where I've just been on it. There are tons of shirts that are just in big bold letters across the front. Hearst Castle, established, 1920, whatever. I don't have any desire to get that. But I did.
Right.
I think it was when we were in the lighthouse gift shop. I was like, they have little miniature replicas of the lighthouse. And cool. I'm like, what if, those little Christmas village things that have the little Christmas village you can build one little building at a time. You get the cute little post office, or you get the little city hall or whatever. To do that, but it's all replicas of places I've been. Get the little lighthouse, get the Eiffel Tower, get a half dome from Yosemite. You get these little things. I think would be really cool, but it would all those little figurine things cost so much money.
Really?
Compared, not exorbitant amounts, but it would add up so fast. Yeah. Or compared to getting a mug or shot glasses, I know some people get. I thought after I went to Yosemite the first time, I was like, maybe I'm going to start like a refrigerator magnet collection of
Jocelyn does
places.
that.
And then that's the only one I've bought ever. So that didn't really take off for me. Because then it's also like, what if my fridge is just covered in magnets? That seems like design wise, I don't think that every magnet's going to be the same shape, so they're not all going to match up the right way. So I haven't gotten in on that. But also like the little village idea, as cool as that would be, like that just takes up so much space as well if you really build it out. So I would like to, like, I think that I have, purchasing souvenirs in my blood, but I just can't quite commit to it. I think the closest thing, and I don't even necessarily buy them while I'm there. Sometimes, like around the holidays, I'll be like, you know what? Let me get an ornament for my Christmas tree of this place that I've been. Sometimes I'll get them while I'm there, but other times I'll just do it later. But that's probably the closest to like a quote unquote souvenir collection, is just like, putting ornaments on a Christmas tree and being like, oh yeah, I went here. Like that's what my family did mostly for souvenirs growing up. We had like a cable car to be like, oh, remember we went to San Francisco, or different things like that. That's the closest thing that I have to a souvenir collection, but I know that if I found the right thing to start collecting, I'd go nuts.
Well, they do on the collecting side of it, which I should just do it, and that brings me to my next topic. But they have those little coins you can get. Sure. They're like this big, and you get a book and just save a state park coin or whatever. I don't know if they have them outside of state parks. That's all the traveling I'm doing recently. But it is a thing. I guess that way I love the idea of just having the little miniatures. But yeah, you would need like a garage and to sacrifice a large part of it to your little miniatures collection. But there's something with the national parks where it's like, I didn't have the passport thing where you put the stamps in it. I didn't have that until I think we got that at Crater Lake. And so I've only got like 3 stamps in it or so. And it's like, we've been to Joshua Tree before. I didn't have that, so I don't have a Joshua Tree. Or maybe I do. Either way, regardless.
But yeah,
there are like 2 or 3 places we've gone that I don't have that. Mm-hmm. And the completionist in me, that's the word, right?
Yeah.
Wants that. But like Jocelyn fucking hates the desert. She never wants to go back to Joshua Tree. I loved it. But am I going to go to Joshua Tree by myself? Am I going to drag her to Joshua Tree for a stamp? Probably not.
See if you can order the stamp online.
But it feels cheating. I don't know. I don't like it. I get the stamp online. I wonder. I'd have to look into it. Could be worth it. Yeah, I don't know. I think that was the other part of making that decision of not getting the mug, was like, I've been to all these places. I didn't get mugs at any of those either. So then I would just have 2 mugs, which is the start of a nice collection. But at the end of the day, how many mugs is that going to end up being? Like 5? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's also like, I mean, this is more so for me as somebody who doesn't really drink tea or coffee. Like, as cool of designs as mugs can often have, like, I don't drink out of mugs that often to like build that collection out. Same with shot glasses. I know that some people will just collect like shot glasses because they're small. But yeah, I don't know. Here's a question. Do you, if you were to see something at a store, like while you were visiting a place, like maybe not a
Yeah.
national park, that might not be a good example, but if you were visiting, let's say, Denver, Colorado,
Yeah.
and you happened to find something there that doesn't really say or have anything to do with Denver, but you're like, I really like whatever this thing is.
Yeah.
Do you buy it and consider it a souvenir?
I would say yes. I There's a part of me that prefers it that way. But again,
Yeah,
now that I have anything with words on it that says where I've been, I want all of them because I'm
sure.
damaged. But yeah, no, totally. If I'm going I'm trying to think. Like I went to New York. Did I get anything? A slice of pizza. That was a good souvenir.
Did you get one of those big shirts that says I heart NY on it?
God, I wish I did. But no, I did not.
I
I would
don't
wear it every
understand
day.
who buys those, but I know they're extremely
A lot of
popular.
people. A lot of people. That does kind of lead me though. So when you go to these places, what do they call that little souvenir shop? What's the name for it?
You mean like a tourist trap?
Well, there's that. But you said earlier, exit through the
Oh, the gift shop.
gift shop. I think the general idea of all this stuff is they're supposed to be gifts. And I've
Sure.
received stuff like this as gifts from people, and I always appreciate it, you know? I've got a decent number of shot glasses, but they're from places I've never been. And so it's like, I keep them, I like them. But it's weird to me. But then when I think about the fact that it's called a gift shop, it's like, am I the weird one because I'm just buying shit for myself? And I don't know. Should I be getting my
Yeah.
nieces and nephew little trinkets? Probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I as a myself, I don't really
As a
need that.
myself?
I don't really need that.
Sure.
Souvenir from somewhere I've never been before. I
Yeah,
don't know. Your thoughts?
I think it's a mix a little bit because I mean I definitely am also more like looking in there for myself
Yeah.
whenever I'm in one of those places. I think that like if you have kids or like nieces and nephews, maybe in your case, maybe if you see like when I was in Cambria, right? They have like sea otters and sea lions and all sorts of marine life along the beaches. And so some of those
Yeah.
gift shops have like, plush uh animals. And so
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, to get one of those for like my child or something would be like I could see that working that way. But yeah, I wouldn't be like, hey, I bought you a shirt that says Hearst Castle on it. A place that I went without you. Like, I don't know.
So that you never forget I went there.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. It is a little strange. I will
It's
say,
odd.
to go back to a question I asked you a little while ago, I was
Oh,
setting up
yes.
for a story of my own.
Awkward.
When I was a child, we did like a big New England vacation as a family. New
Okay.
York, Washington D.C., Philadelphia. Um, and while we were there, I believe this was in Washington D.C. The hotel had a little gift shop in it,
Okay.
and I'm a child. I'm in height of Beanie Baby power. And they have little Beanie Babies there, and
Okay.
there's one that has an owl, and it has like a little like graduation cap with the little tassel
Right.
and stuff. And I told my family, I was like, mother, father, please, the souvenir I would like the most from this trip is owl with graduation cap. And my family said, no, that has nothing to do with this trip. This is just
Interesting.
an owl with a graduation cap. You won't see that Beanie Baby and think back to this trip. And yet,
yes,
here I am, maybe 2 decades later, still vividly remembering that I couldn't have that owl with the graduation cap on it.
That sucks.
Yeah. So I think
Souvenir is whatever you want it to be.
And exactly. But I think that maybe also is part of why I don't always get a souvenir. Maybe is I'm like, I don't know if this thing that I want counts. So I just shouldn't get this thing that I want.
It counts. I think everywhere you travel, you need to find an owl with a graduation cap on it and just have 1,000 owls with graduation caps, and you'll never forget where each one came from. I don't know. I think it's a good idea. But no, you can't put rigid lines on what is and what is not a souvenir. I think anything you get from a place can be considered a souvenir. Unless, like I was saying, it's pizza and you eat it. You can't eat a souvenir.
Do you consider photographs a souvenir?
Generally, no. I think if you were like... the only thing popping into my head is like going to Vegas for my friend's birthday forever ago and taking a picture of him with Jason with the machete cutting his head off, paying for that photo.
Sure.
I think souvenirs, money has to be exchanged.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I'm a capitalist.
Yeah, we love capitalism on this podcast.
We do. It's
in this house, we love capitalism.
This house? These 2 roofs? We love this stuff.
If you could, this is all, this is kind of goes back to travel a little bit.
No.
But if you could go to a place, where would you travel to right now, Evan?
I mean, it's such a...
And what are you hoping to see in those souvenir gift shops?
Great question. So the first thing that popped into my head, which is like kind of stereotypical, it's just going back to Hawaii.
And we love
for whatever
stuff.
Reason, Hawaii wasn't a place that I felt like I needed a souvenir from. I don't know. There are certain places you go where you're doing a bunch of stuff. I went to New York, and me and Patrick walked all over the fucking city. We saw the Empire State Building and the statue, blah, 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 blah. Hawaii was like a fucking chill the fuck out time. Also my sister's wedding. But after that,
but you were
chill
so
the fuck
chill.
out time. We were chill as hell. But I mean, it was a wedding on the beach with like 5 people there. So yeah, not because that's all who came. That's because it was a small family thing, just to be clear. Nobody wanted to go. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super fun, but I'm just like, I don't know what I would get from Hawaii. But the second one that popped into my head was New Zealand, because I tried and failed.
Because you tried.
And that, yeah, I'm sure I could come up with something. Although, you know what? A thing I do have that I like, and this is a real loophole in terms of something costing money. Money!
Okay.
Money from other places. I've actually got a shit ton. A shit ton! You hear that?
Wow, look how wealthy Evan is.
Shit ton of money. But most of this is for places I've never been. Well, Canada, that was me. But there's like Singapore in here. I've got some English pounds as opposed to those other pounds. There's some Singaporean money, Georgian money from my sister when she lived there. That's fun. And so I like the idea of that, keeping a coin before doing the exchange back to boring old American USD. I don't know. You keeping any cash?
Not intentionally. I think that we have a couple coins from Indonesia when we went to Bali, but I think that
Nice.
was like they got mixed in with some US coins and now we just have them and less of like, isn't this cool that we have it? It's like, oh man,
Yeah.
I got to remember to not to try and spend that somewhere here. But it's also like of such a low amount that I don't want to be like, let's take it to a currency exchange.
Right. I've never been to jolly old England, but I think they were Jocelyn's. She just like had them in her purse and tossed them in my car, and I didn't know that. And I was trying to like pay for parking, and I looked and I was like, "What the fuck are all these?" It was like $13 in English currency. I don't know if you just call it pounds. Pounds, yeah, pounds are the coin dollar, quote unquote, right?
I believe so.
Just a bunch of those. I love them so much. They're thick, they're heavy, they got weight to them. I want them. So send me all your pounds.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Hashtag Evan wants to pack on the pounds.
It's true. I've got one other thing I need to discuss.
Please get it off your chest, King.
Okay. Okay. So I don't even remember where this was from at this point. I don't know. But Jocelyn and I were traveling somewhere. Likely a national park. I'll say the Olympics, maybe. We did the whole rainforest. And we ended up with a little set of Legos. But they're not actual Legos. They're a different brand. It was Legos for this bear. Now, he's currently missing part of his foot because that's right over there, and I have not had the, I don't know, enthusiasm to disconnect things and reconnect it. And the reason for that is this is the hardest fucking thing I've ever done in my life. And it has instructions. And they are the most confusing fucking instructions you've ever seen. And these are all tiny Legos. I don't know how, like, it won't focus, but yeah, it's not going to focus on them. Every little piece is like an eighth the size of a regular Lego. But I did it. And I put it together, and this bear is in a little cabinet downstairs. But it was fucking hard. And when we went to the Redwoods, the one tourist trappy thing we did, we drove through the tree. You
gotta do it.
There's a hole in a tree, and I drove through it. It was thrilling. And there's a gift shop there, and anything we do there, we've got the dogs with us, so one of us will sit in the car with the dogs with the AC on, or take them out to pee while the other person goes in. And she goes in, and she comes back. She says, "Guess what I got you?" She got 2 the same type of Lego kits with more pieces. This has 472. This has 708, but it makes the tree you can drive through. And she's like laughing because she knew she got it for herself in the first place and was like, I can't do this. It's impossible. So she got me more to drive me fucking crazy. And now I've got a big job on my hands of putting these together. And I don't want this to become, this is our souvenir thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Evan has to do the hardest Legos imaginable. So otherwise, how fun is that? I would love to just get a Lego kit at every place you visit. Put it together. That's a fun, great idea. Why are they so hard?
Yeah.
Legos.
That's a good that's a good thing to keep in mind of
that's all
of not wanting to have a specific souvenir enter the collection.
I do now it's just like a joke to her and she's gonna keep doing it.
Yeah. I do want to throw it to the listeners briefly to be like, what are good souvenirs for me to collect and really get that
Yeah.
get that bug going. I know when I used to, like, this was more so like just at like Disneyland, but I think other places have started to do it a lot more too. But little like collectible pins.
Yeah.
I've thought
That's
about
good
that.
stuff.
But yeah, just trying to figure out what should I be spending my hard-earned money on? Because I won't ever be a house. Am I right? Sorry.
Yeah.
Pro capitalism.
That gave me an idea, and this is a very old school idea, but I think it's cute as hell.
Okay.
Let me know what you think of this. Postcards. You buy a postcard at the gift shop. It's got a cool picture on it. You write on the back what you guys have been up to on the trip, everything you did, how fun you're having. Send it to yourself back at home. Put it in a drawer. And then, open it when you're feeling lonely. I don't know.
You had me in the first half.
There's no end to it.
To do like a...
But I think that's a fun idea.
Like postcard scrapbook or whatever.
Scrapbook it.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be something.
Like I said, I think in getting that jacket, I am just committing to not having, outside of the stamp book, not having a like single collection. I'm just going to get stuff I like when I see it. In talking about this, I have convinced myself, damn, I really should be buying shit for my nieces and my nephew.
Sure.
Haven't been doing that. They would love that.
Well, you can certainly this year give them some HowDoWeHuman stickers.
Bam. They might like that. I don't know. So give them the same thing I did with Jordan. Just give them like 10 of them and be like, take these to school. Pass them out.
Pass them around. Find the best place in town to stick these to.
Yeah. Or like me, don't.
Yeah. Or just let them sit on your desk forever.
Yeah. Until someone's like, yeah, sure, I'll take some of those. Is that all we did? We got.
I think
we
so.
Souvenired it up. Let us know if you want more souvenirs from us. You've reached the end of this podcast, and congratulations.
You're in the gift shop now, baby.
Yeah, that's right. You're in the gift shop, and there's no getting out. You're trapped in the gift shop with us. See how you like this. You can listen to more episodes. That's what's in the gift shop. 270 some episodes, 280, I think. Who knows? We got a bunch of episodes. You can listen to them all. If there's any like, oh gosh, I feel so awkward about this, go on to your podcasting app, put that, find our podcast, put it in the search bar. We've probably done an episode on it. We're relentless. But you can listen to more episodes anywhere you get your podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, etc., Pocket Casts. Do it. Leave us ratings. Leave us reviews. We love this stuff. I haven't checked if we've gotten a review, and it feels like a year. So
I don't know if we've gotten a review. We did get an Instagram DM, Evan.
Did we now?
Claims that they gave us a 5-star rating.
Oh,
but I don't know
that.
if they left a review or not because I don't bother to check those things.
Well, I love to hear that. We need more 5-star reviews, and we're good there. You know, we got 4.7 out of 5. That's pretty good. We got one fucking 1-star rating from some fucking loser.
Yep.
But otherwise, we're cruising. So any 5-star reviews you want to give us, send them along. You can also, as Chris just illustrated, you can chat with us on Instagram at HowDoWeHuman.
We got that handle.
You can chat with us on Facebook also at HowDoWeHuman.
Yeah. We got that handle.
bitch. You can watch full video episodes of this podcast on YouTube. That is at HowDoWeHuman.
Look, we got that handle.
What more needs to be said? Except that you can also chat with us at our email, and you can send us an email. That is howdowehumanpod@gmail.com.
I don't know what you want me to tell you, okay? Because the best part of that handle is that it's an email address.
Yeah. Okay. We're getting real defensive now.
So how about we all just chill out?
And you just shut the fuck up and listen.
I don't know if you listeners remember 55 minutes ago when Evan and I were really struggling to get back into the swing of this podcast. Because something that we've, even more than just talking and recording, something we've been really out of practice on is taking a little 5-question trivia quiz as we play to 100 points. The score, if you remember, Evan.
Okay.
Chris with 85 points.
Okay.
Evan with 81 points.
All right.
And Dustin does still have 4 points.
So
it's anybody's game.
Mature with interest over time. Does he get to 5 points at a certain point?
That's a good question. We'll have to look at the inflation on those points. How are you feeling, Evan, going in, having not taken these little quizzles for the last 2 weeks or so, 2.5, 3 weeks maybe? How you feeling?
Blind confidence.
Great.
But, I feel 100% out of practice. We'll see how it goes. You?
Very out of practice.
All right.
How do you feel, as I know what the first question is, how do you feel about drugs and or cheese? Do you feel knowledgeable about either one of those categories?
I feel moderately knowledgeable about both.
Okay, great.
Particularly combined.
Well, then I think you're going to get this question right, and I probably won't. Question number 1. What cheese is known to make people hallucinate? Manchego, Neufchâtel, Poulet, or Stilton? And I'm sure I pronounced all of those incorrectly.
Yeah, maybe. I think you got...
You think I got Stilton?
Here's where we're at with me. I know 3 of these cheeses I'm familiar with. I've never heard this before, which makes me wonder if it's the 4th cheese.
Okay. But I'm between 2 cheeses. And I don't even know that I've heard of them. So I'm a pretty basic cheese eater, cheddar, Swiss,
white cheddar,
end of list.
American.
Of course. I don't see friggin' craft singles in this list, so I don't know.
Could you imagine if a craft single could make you hallucinate, bro?
I'm between... I'll let you know, Evan. I'm between Manchego and Stilton.
Okay.
And the other thing, I have almost no basis on why I've chosen those 2.
I'm going to stick with my instinct of picking the cheese I don't know, but I've never had any of these cheeses, but I feel like 3 of them are like moderately common enough, but this doesn't say... it's known to make people hallucinate by eating like a regular amount. It might just be like eating a whole wheel of cheese. I don't fucking know. So this is a guess. I'm going to go with poulet.
Okay. I'm going to go with Stilton.
All right.
Because I think, I think Manchego was sticking out at me because it sounds similar to a word in the song Kokomo.
Neufchâtel, Manchego,
right.
Baby.
And so it's like, are they referencing the cheese? That's how they get to Kokomo so quickly? I don't know. But I'm going to go with Stilton.
Okay. Let's see.
Stilton was correct.
Ah, dang. All right. Who collabed with Karl Marx
featuring
to produce the Communist Manifesto? Frederick Engels, Peter Kropotkin, Vladimir Lenin, or Leon Trotsky?
All right, I'm between two again.
Yes, and my knowledge of this is like just enough to fuck me up, I think. And I think that's why we might be between the same two.
Are you also between Lenin and Trotsky?
Correct.
Okay.
That's correct. Who collaborated? I think I have my answer. I'm locking it in.
I have my answer, but this fucks me up every single time we do this quiz because I'm so like
anti-communist.
Yeah. And I'm so anti choosing an answer that has already like out of A, B, C, and D has already been an answer. But I am going with Trotsky. Okay. And I think it's going to fuck me up, but that's my choice.
Well, this is going to be exciting because I'm going Vladimir Lenin.
Great. It was Friedrich Engels.
Bullshit.
What was the first movie to be rated PG-13? Beetlejuice, The Lost Boys, Full Metal Jacket, or Red Dawn?
I believe I know the answer to this.
I'm not sure.
Good.
Because I felt like, and maybe this was, I guess maybe I'm thinking this of something that was rated PG and should have been rated PG-13, but that rating didn't exist yet.
Poltergeist?
No, I was thinking of Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
And so now I'm
PG-13.
Okay. Well, then I thought that was the answer to this question. Had there been no answers here, I would have confidently answered Temple of Doom.
I think I would have done the same thing. There must be some sort of trivia related to that.
So now I have to try and put these in release order around Temple of Doom, and I don't think I have all the knowledge to pull that off.
Okay. This boy's lost.
I'm between two. I'm between Lost Boys and Red Dawn. I'm gonna pick the Lost Boys.
Okay.
But does it not have one of Evan's celebrity lookalikes?
It sure does.
Great.
Old Kiefer.
Then that'll be my answer. What's your answer, Evan?
My answer is Red Dawn.
Great. You are correct.
Hooray! Sati is a type of beer that's traditionally flavored with juniper. Which country would you be most likely to find it in? Japan, Bulgaria, Sri Lanka, or Finland? Sati.
I'm going first thought, best thought on this one. I have my answer. I'm ready to lock it in.
Okay. Sati. I'm at a crossroads here because Sati does sound moderately Japanese, but flavored with juniper. Juniper makes me think of gin, which makes me think of England. So it could be a European thing going on here. I'll just go with my first instinct then. My first instinct was Bulgaria.
My first instinct was Sri Lanka.
It's a good instinct.
It was Finland. There was something European going on there, Evan.
Something European going on there. I'm just saying.
This is a race between the two of us. Who can get more than 1 point correct in this quizzle? Last question. Who was the first Time Magazine Person of the Year? Walter Chrysler, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Charles Lindbergh, or Mahatma Gandhi?
I feel like this is a bit of trivia I've heard before, but it's also possible I'm just completely making this up.
Yeah.
I go Gandhi.
Gandhi is also who I'm leaning towards. Franklin D. Roosevelt stands out a little bit too among the other three as a potential option for me. I don't think it's Walter Chrysler, which means because I've said that, that's who it's going to be. But
could be Walter Chrysler.
And I think Charles Lindbergh. Like, why would he be Person of the Year instead of the baby?
You got that baby stolen.
I'm also going to go Gandhi. Hashtag right. Let's go Gandhi. It was Charles Lindbergh.
God damn it.
So each of us
just
gains
your day,
1 point.
Killer. We were rusty.
That bumps us to a score of 86 for myself and 82 for Evan.
Nice. This was my vision for the future of our quizzles. Is that this
we
last
each get
bit
one
is
at a
drawn
time.
out for so long.
Yeah, that was a rough
to see it.
That was rough for the two of us, but we hope you come back and see us get maybe 1 point next week.
Yeah, maybe 1 point between the two of us.
Yeah,
that'd be riveting.
Yeah.
Well, if I can take a souvenir from that experience, it's feeling
your 1 point.
dumb explaining why something could not be the answer and then seeing that it was the answer. And that's a souvenir I'll keep with me forever. That's my souvenir collection.
I've collected a lot of those. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.